Hey all, this is Reddit Tosker. The Monster Hunter YouTube channel just put out 3 videos for Monster Hunter Wilds. The videos are an overview for the Greatsword, an overview for basic mechanics, and an overview covering focus mode. The Greatsword overview doesn't have anything interesting, so we're not going to talk about that. But the other 2 have things we haven't seen before. Of particular interest is focus mode, a mechanic that we've seen a little bit, but its wording was ambiguous and how it works exactly was unclear. This focus mode video, though short, actually does let us understand how it works precisely. It even lets us see the reticle that we couldn't see in the more cinematic trailers. The focus mode seems to put the hunter into a stance. He looks like he can move in any direction, but his movement is restricted, he's more slow. While he's in this mode, he can turn the reticle to face any direction. The on-screen text tells us that focus mode allows you to carefully aim your attacks, and that attacks or guards that you perform in focus mode will be directed where the camera is facing. What's particularly interesting is that while the hunter is in focus mode, he can charge his greatsword and turn completely around while charging to aim his strike where he wants it to go. The video then talks about how wounding is going to work. Attacking the same part of a monster continuously will create wounds on that body part. Once wounded, the monster will take more damage if hit there. If you go into focus mode while the monster is wounded, it will highlight those wounds so you're able to see them better. Focus mode also lets you see a monster's weak points, which brings the video to its explanation of focus strikes. Focus strikes are special attacks that deal extra damage to wounds and weak points, and then it shows us the focus strikes of several weapons. In the website it goes on to tell us that hitting a wound with a focus strike will destroy the wound, dealing large damage to the monster and stunning it. Presumably you can then hit that body part again, get it to have another wound, and do another focus strike on it later. It appears that the focus strikes are the equivalent of something like the Silkbind attacks in Monster Hunter Rise. I say that because there must be some kind of cost. It's unlikely that you'll be able to just use any of these attacks at any time, and they'll probably have some kind of cooldown once used. Now, as for the other video, it showcases some new and interesting things as well. First of all, it shows off the minimap and reveals that it's 3D, and the map's perspective is at an angle, giving you a clearer view of all the verticality. This video also gives us a clearer look at the hunter navigating an environment. Up until this point, we've seen very large vistas and the open map, but looking now at the minimap and how the hunter's going from one place to another, it seems much more traditional, very much like Monster Hunter World. The available play space seems rather narrow and confined here, confirming that not everything is just going to be very expansive and gigantic. Most importantly though, this trailer seems to suggest that there is no monster tracking in Monster Hunter Wilds. It shows us the very beginning of a quest, and from the get-go the quest monster is visible, and then the in-game text confirms that your mount can automatically take you to the target. When I saw the scout flies in previous trailers, I had assumed that we would have a system closer to Monster Hunter World where you gather tracks and then the monster is revealed on the map. But if we take this trailer at face value, it seems that that's just not a thing. It's more like Monster Hunter Rise, where the monster's just there. The rest of the things in the trailer are things that we know about or have seen to some degree in previous trailers. For example, the sharpening while mounted and drinking while mounted, and the existence of the hook slinger, which lets you gather items from a distance. At first I thought that the hook slinger would be limited to gathering slinger ammo, but no, you can also use it to gather materials from a distance, whether on foot or mounted. You can also use it to trigger environmental traps. And that's it for all the interesting information in these trailers. There was a greatsword weapon overview, but it didn't have anything that was of note. However, it does indicate that they're going to start releasing weapon overviews for all the other weapons, which means that we'll be able to take a look at the other weapons and their new focus strikes more carefully relatively soon. Anyway, that's the end of this video. As always, thank you very much for watching.